I told firstly, thank everyone for staying behind so late. I've had a little rest in the changing room after the fight, a little bit tired, so thank you for staying behind. Yeah, where does it rank for me? You know, the British title fight at Oakwell was amazing. The European 7 months after was unreal, but I said this win was going to be that little bit sweeter, and it definitely was. You know, there were so many people doubting me after I lost against Troy. Said I shouldn't have taken the fight, it was too early. Said I'm struggling at the weight, that I'm going to get knocked out again, and you know, being offered easier fights or 8-rounders, 10-rounders, and lesser fights. But I had them from day one that I wanted a rematch. You know, my family, they were very worried, very worried about it. They were nervous, but you know, they were never. I was very confident, you know, prepared well, believed in myself, and yeah, it's not about the loss, it's how we learn, how you can come back from it, and I think that I'm a testament to that tonight.
Obviously, incredible support for you inside the arena again. You know, the Barnsley faithful show up every time. How important is that for you, and how important was it to get the win for your fans?
Massively important. You know, after the loss last time, straight away, you know, after the decision was made, normally when the home fighter loses, you know, everyone's rushing off to beat the traffic, get out of the car parks and stuff, and it's empty. But after this decision was made on the 20th of December, you know, I turned around the road, clapping for me, giving me a round of applause, still cheering my name, and they've all come back to get behind me tonight, even after the loss. You know, it's been a hard-earned money to get to buy tickets, come at M1 to Leeds, and yeah, I wanted to make them proud and wanted to win for them along with a lot of the people as well.
And the man next to you, Rob McCracken, new addition to the corner. How pleased were you with Callum's performance, and did he execute the game plan you had in mind?
Yeah, I think one or two thought he was going to jab and move, but it's not what he does. You know, he's a pressure fighter and he can box a little bit on his way in, his approach. There's a lot of work to do, but he's definitely got world-class potential, as I said at the press conference. Not playing it down. He's got loads of courage, which is massive in boxing. He's came through a few sticky patches in that bout because he got hit with some big shots himself. Thought he boxed really well, performed really well, put some really good body shots together, walked Troy back at times, got in close when he was up close, where he sort of tended to sit in front of him last time and get caught with that right hand over and over again. And he's just come to the GB boxing gym, where it's full of elite athletes that fight Kazakhs and Uzbeks all the time. He's been sparring with them, he's been working with them. It reminds me, you know, Carl Froch used to do the same thing. He used to train at GB and work with them and run with them and train with them and whatever and spar with them. So he's done all of that stuff. He's very popular. He's a really nice guy. My first meeting with Callum was in Starbucks. And I think I liked him, and he probably likes me a little bit as well. So yeah, it's really good. Boxer have obviously done a brilliant job with him. Him and Kevin have obviously done their bit. If I can add to that, that's fantastic. And look forward to bigger and better things for Callum. But I would say I know Troy Williamson. He was an excellent fighter at GB, and he's very dangerous and he's very competent. So tremendous win tonight for Callum, and he can really push forward now and look at world titles in the future.
Thanks. We'll bring in Kev Marie, Callum's manager, on the end there. So Kev, what's the difference tonight? What are the changes that Callum's had to make? I mean, you've been close to him. You know you're a pivotal member of his team. Like what was the difference tonight?
Well, firstly, I'm just so proud of him. You know, people see the end product on fight night. You know, they don't see what Callum has to go through for 8 months. You know, we've had to read non-stop the narrative of the first fight. You know, drastically changing, and you know, being told he's been outclassed, he shouldn't be back in the ring with Troy. All these things. You know, it was a very bad night in the office for Callum. But you know, he was still winning on points. But everything that Callum had done in the past had almost been forgotten about. You know, and tonight he had all that pressure on him. He had 8 months of having to read all these things, and his family having to read it, you know, and he's had to stay in the gym, he's had to train, had to put away all this stuff, you know, mentally and physically. He's gone out there tonight and he's done the punch-perfect performance for Troy Williamson. Absolutely superb. So hats off to Rob next to me here for the game plan. Callum's gone out there and followed it to a T. Couldn't be any prouder.
It's been an incredible start to your new partnership with DAZN. You couldn't have asked for a better main event. Firstly, a word on Callum, on his performance, and you know, perhaps if you could, what could be next for him?
Yeah, it was a mad night. it's crazy because after that fight last time, the amount of people saying that we were idiots for taking the rematch. I've got the messages from some people in this room saying we shouldn't take this rematch, and that Callum had met his level, and Callum was weight trained, and just so much stuff almost written off. One bad night at the office written off. And I think people forget, like what Kev said, everything that's gone before that, and we knew that if he could just box sensibly and not lose his head, which sometimes is hard when he's got a fan base like he has and he wants to perform and entertain, just box sensibly and show his level, and thankfully him and Rob were able to do that, and yeah, incredible, because you have to battle a lot of demons when in boxing sometimes when it's like that, and he'll be so much stronger now he's come through that, such a more competent fighter mentally now, and can really kick on. But yeah, look, Troy was ordered for a world title in the interim, and that's what the plan is with Callum. He's gone through every single level, so it's exciting, and I cannot wait to be doing arena nights now. Off the back of that, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and hopefully we'll be back at Oakwell as well. So yeah, amazing night.
We'll take some questions from the floor. There's a microphone that will be passed around, so if you hold your hand up, that will be passed to you.
Hi, Callum.
How you doing, mate? Yeah.
No, bad, mate, you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. More.
So what did you change then from the first fight? Because, you know, I know the first loss really sort of upset you, etc. But, you know, congratulations, mate.
Thank you very much. I think it from the first fight it was just about trying to be more relaxed, control, punch at the right times, trying to be more defensive on the way in, not rushing my way in on the inside, not throwing 50 shots, trying to just, you know, pick the shots a bit better. And I think specifically with Troy, you know, he's always throwing them big wide hooks, the big hook coming back or big uppercut coming back. So we're trying to, you know, just be smart, 1-2 shots underneath, tie him up, push him down. And I think the first fight gave him way too much respect. He would, you know, even today was in with his head, palm, elbow. So yeah, had to be a little bit not dirty on the inside, but not as respectful on the inside. And yeah, just like I said, just try and tie him up and get my work off and box where I needed to box and fight where I needed to fight. Thank you.
Callum,
Yes.
brilliant.
Good man.
I told you the prayer will go to the right man. didn't
Yes,
it?
thank you very much.
Yeah?
Appreciate that.
The prayer, the
Appreciate it.
faith. I could see your mindset as well was 100%. I knew you were gonna go in there and do your thing, man. The tactics what you used was perfect. Obviously, when you started boxing, did you realize in yourself that the tactics for boxing wasn't working because you're getting caught? So you revert back to what you was doing, smothering him, hitting him, working inside with him. Was that better for you?
At times, yeah. At times, no. I think, you know, I was catching him with a long 1-2 quite a few times, a 1-2 jab, or 1-2 backhand. But then, you know, I think I'm good at fighting as well. And I think on the inside, it was about being a little bit smart on the inside again. That one or two shots to the body, uppercut, hooks around the side, tie him up, push him down, lean on him, and not be too respectful on the inside and let him get his work off. You know, again, not a punch perfect performance. I know a few people are saying how well I did, but for me, there were a lot of times where I was waiting too long on the inside, letting him get too many shots off. But again, I've had I think again a new training team, new kind of sparring, new kind of training, a brand new S&C team. So for me, I was almost a little bit hesitant to go through the gears at points. But yeah, my fitness still felt very good, and you know, I could have probably gone through the gears more. But now after that fight, I know the next fight I'll be more confident and be able to go through the gears a bit more, which you know I could have done tonight. But yeah,
You played him up his own game. That's what you did, and that was perfect. What you did there.
yeah. So
So well done, yeah.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Well,
Callum, in the previous 2 fights, you've suffered a handful of knockdowns, even when you've been boxing well
Yeah.
and winning, and when you've got off the deck every time.
Yeah.
Tonight, you got hit with probably the same shots again.
Yeah.
Not all the time, and not as much, but you didn't go down.
Yeah.
So was that a physical difference or a psychological difference?
My legs just the last 2 fights, the legs just went. My head's always been all right, but there's nothing I can say. I never, whenever I get caught with a big shot, I never purposely go down or think, oh, that I'm going to go down. Whenever I'm being down, it's because my legs have just gone. It's not a case of, oh, that one hurt, I'm going to go down after that shot. Ever. It's my legs just gave way in the previous 2 fights, and you know, again, I got caught with some very big shots today. Didn't go down. whatever that is, it is. I don't know what it is. We got caught with some bigger shots today than I did the last fight, to be honest. But you know, again, everyone's talking about my weight. I'm drained at the weight. I'm too big at the weight. It's just, I think Troy tried to spin that narrative because he's been weight drained in the past and tried to, maybe it's for his own confidence. I'm not too sure, but I think I've showed time and time again, you know, my conditioning, tenacity, and the work rate that I can go through the gears all the way through 12 rounds, tough fights. You know, whether it's 12 round fight with Zach Chile, you know, high work rate all the way through 10th round stoppage against Ducko for the European, and a 12 round war there with Troy. I think that stuff about don't need to move up to light heavy, and the narrative about me struggling the weight needs to be put to bed now.
What takes more to get up or to stay up?
To get up. Staying up's fine. It's again, like I said, it's not a case of I get caught with a big shot and think, oh, I need to go down. Ever. I've never gone down by my own choice. My legs have just given way. My head wants to stay up, but my legs have just gone. But and again, the last fight, I would have kept getting up all night. But yeah, it's whether, you know, fights, it's the level I'm at now. Every fight's going to be a hard fight. You know, Troy's a very, very good fighter, a very tough fight. I knew it was going to be a tough fight, and I prepared for a tough fight, and you know, I had to take it to him tonight.
Andy?
Rob, obviously, generally speaking, you've worked with fighters through the amateur scene, MMA, turnover pro, somebody you've helped to guide and who you're used to working with. You said earlier, obviously, you see those world championship potential characteristics in Callum. What exactly do you see maybe Callum that you've seen in other fighters who you've worked with for maybe a longer period through that amateur scene progressing into professional?
Yeah, I think and touching on the knockdowns and stuff, I think, you know, he's left his feet behind a bit. I didn't think he did it as badly tonight. I thought he was much better last time. I thought he's left his feet behind a little bit. His shape wasn't the same. He was more in a position to deal with the shots, even though some of them were getting through because the gloves are tiny, and you know that's what happens in professional boxing. You can't get out of the way of everything. Yeah, I just think he reminds me. Mentally, he's resilient. Talking to him between the rounds, obviously Troy is experienced and can punch and he's a good fighter, and he withstood a few tough moments in there, Callum, and then just came bouncing back. And that you can't buy that. You can't give somebody that. You know, they either get it with some big shots and they sort of melt and sort of retreat and sort of start holding. He doesn't. He boxed the right fight, he fought with him, he boxed when he had to, he tried to pressure him smartly. I liked the way he walked him back. He was walking him back at times, which gave him recovery, and also whenever he did get hit with anything big, he had his hands up, and he was in a good position, balance and posture wise. So yeah, that's what I thought.
At the start of that answer, you said he reminds you of some other kind of...
Yeah, Carl Froch was a beast, a physical beast, and he talked to me in between rounds, like he wasn't in the fights that he was in. You know, USA, he's fighting Jermaine Taylor, and he comes back, he gets knocked down, he goes, why did I do that? What do you think I did that? He's having a conversation with me, because he's resilient, he's robust, he's not bothered about being in there with these killers and the best in the world. Callum's got a bit of that about him. He's came down to the GB gym, which, believe it or not, is extremely difficult to do, and spar some of the people that you have to spar, and he's fitted in really well. And then professionals have come in and really tested him. We were sparring Sunday, weren't we? Sunday afternoon.
First time I've come into a fight with a black eye.
Yeah, good. Won't be the last time. Won't be the last time. But yeah, no, he's resilient and he's robust, and you know, like I say, the promoters have done a brilliant job for him. Ben and Baz have done a great job. Kevin's managed him really, really well. I'm fortunate enough to be working with him as a coach. But yeah, there's lots of things to look forward to for Callum. You see the crowd tonight, but also he can fight and he can box. And Troy hit him with some big shots tonight, and he just came roaring back. And you know, you can't buy that.
James?
Yeah, you've obviously rather not gone through with Callum, but do you think the process that you've had to go through since you first fight with Troy to now has made you a better fighter, and if so, why?
Yeah, definitely. I think, again, I don't know, I think, like Kevin said before, that losing to Troy in my last fight may be the best thing that's happened to me. You know, I think I look back, even looking back now, it could be the best thing that happened to me, because again, when you're winning, everything's going well. You don't think about making any changes. You just keep trying to fight. But if I beat Troy last time, might have cornered stuck the next time and not had the opportunity to get a rematch. But I've been very, very grateful and fortunate that we had the rematch clause in the contract, and Boxer have worked hard when Troy tried to get out of the rematch for many reasons, and it's dragged on for so long. Very fortunate that we managed to get the rematch and put the wrong right, and I can just carry on pushing on, and teamed up with Rob. I think it's the right move for me to. I know I can fight, but I want to get a little bit better at boxing as well. Try and learn how to box.
Yeah, I'm just curious with the tactics. Normally with the fights I would train, I would tell him to use the jab, but I could see that he was trying to time me with the overhand right. So was the tactics to smother his work, wrap his hands up, get his back on the rope so that you could do your work and get him square on? Because when he was square on, he took a lot of his shots away from him.
With the jab, that was a shot that I threw last time I got countered with.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that again. So when I threw the jab, I made sure I was throwing it properly and hard and fast, whereas I used to kind of just flick it out. Sometimes I use it as a range find, but find it with Troy, he knew that he knew it from last time. That's what I got countered with. I threw out a lazy jab, and it can't be the right and left, which I didn't want to do this time. So the plan was to, when I was boxing him, for a long 1-2, double it up, triple it up, and then on the inside, again, just 1, 2, 3 shots, tie him up, push his head down, not be as respectful on the inside, and let the ref break it, and then reset. And again, just try and work on box, and then work on the inside.
Is that what you work with him in camp, Rob? Things like that?
Yeah, I just think the last fight he was standing in front of him and getting hit with right hands over the top. Troy would feint to the body and shoot the right hand over the top. It was just like when and also this windmilling thing that it doesn't work, and you've got to do 2 or 3 solid shots and then push and shove and lean on them. You can't just stand there so they can hit you back. So he worked long and hard on it, and it's not that I'm a genius. It's just that it's already in him. Yeah. Kevin's been a coach in the past, and obviously his other coach. They've already put him in it and taught him how to do it. It's just me bringing it out in him and making him do it. So that was good. I thought he was much better on the inside. If you look at what his last fight, and he didn't stand in front and get it with the uppercut himself or get pushed around and shoved around. And if you look back at the last fight, the little feint, the right hand over the top, Troy caught him with it every time, and that then has an accumulative effect, and you're going to get tired, and eventually you run out of gas. When you're getting it with big shots, you're lucky if you get through a 12 round.
Yeah, again, I think the last fight I was holding my feet, like Rob said, I rolled my feet quite a lot. Staying, if we watched the fight literally on Sunday, watched it again on Sunday, and I was holding my feet a lot in front of him, just standing in front of him, letting him kind of tee off on me, whereas we worked on moving to the right, catching the shot, deflecting the shots, and try and come back with a counter. And that's what I tried to do tonight. Not hold my feet as much. Again, sometimes I did, but I was trying to move to the right and box him off. But again, it's not just. Again, I think the fight was maybe a bit more exciting than I wanted it to be. But again, Troy's a very tough fighter. He's going to be on you all night, and Again, that's what we worked on, just sinking 1 or 2 in instead of. Again, like Rob said, a lot of the time I throw like 50 shots at the inside, and but then Troy comes with a big hooks back, so there's no point me throwing 20 shots and then getting caught with a big one myself. So it was about tying him up, throwing 1, 2 shots, hook underneath, and trying to work the body. And I got some through again. Not perfect, but got it done.
Apologies for a bit of a strange question, but as I was walking in, there was a big Yorkshire Rose coach outside with Callum Simpson badge, and they'd obviously all left and taken over a pub. I just wondered, do you know where it picked everyone up from and where it takes them all back to tonight?
Take them back to Barnsley. Pick up from Barnsley and
back to Barnsley. Is there a pub? Is there a big working man's club?
He wants an after party.
I just wondered, you don't see coaches, like when I was a kid, like when you see a coach of football, it was cool to see a coach, your big name on it, and I just wondered, is it a big working man's club? Is it your local?
There's a few coaches from Barnsley that have come through from it. There's East Dean Reds, there's Abersley Reds, there's Yorkshire Rose coaches, there's the Grimy Reds. They've all come through. There's a few that have come through at 12 o'clock this afternoon. There's some that Barnsley were playing at home today. There's some that have come straight after the game. I'll tell you the pick up from Halifax Bank in Barnsley, and then the drop off at Leeds, and then take them back to Halifax Bank to a stop off at Abersley or a stop off at Grimy. in a stop off at Easton Club. If you really want to know, yeah. But sometimes we drop off outside Barnsley College as well, but it depends where you want to go.
Great, and a final question?
Yeah, this is a question for Kevin and for Ben. Callum's made it very, very clear that he wants to win the British title outright. Are you going to give him that opportunity next, or the world title fights or the world honours fights going to be too tempting?
For me, it's just about taking the right fights now, on the route to fight for world titles. I think he's done everything, and now's the time to choose the right fights with his trainer, with his team, and get towards world titles. If he wants to win it outright, that's fair enough. For me, I'd like to kick on now and start looking towards the world level. I think he's going to have a busy 12 months ahead, and biggest ticket seller in British boxing, the biggest ticket seller we have in British boxing, and now he's going to go into world level. It's a phenomenally exciting 12 months ahead.
I think it's not just biggest ticket seller, it's not just selling tickets, it's the genuine support from my community, from Yorkshire, Barnsley, not just the salesmen. I think it's real support. Obviously Ben loves the ticket selling side. Obviously it's about putting
to do that in August as well. It's hard to sell tickets in that just shows how loyal his fan base are. Most people are away, struggling for money, coming off a loss as well, and he can still fill out Leeds Arena. It's pretty incredible. So God knows where it goes, and special fan base.
How's Sheila's next?
Well, thanks everyone.
Any more
Close
questions?
with sort of a round of applause for Callum.